Hello, my name is Christian,
And I'm still Carolina.
and this is the season 3 episode 2.
Episode 2 for the ones who don't understand that.
Kaksi.
Kaksi.
And today we also have two
Me speak English good.
very good, most goodest, the two topics that we're gonna have discussed.
The first is would you rather questions.
And the next one, common knowledge.
Yes.
About what do you consider common knowledge, and what do you think about the state of common knowledge, general knowledge? So I was thinking about this. Would you rather?
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather have your vacation?
Okay, it's like this already. Like,
Yeah,
okay, I'm going to put me in
straight-
the hot seat.
yeah,
like,
straight away.
sizzling. Okay.
So would you rather have your vacation days, or would you sell them for double their worth?
I think it's a complicated word. Again, me speak English good. Because let's face it, most people need money, and I think many people would choose the money.
Double the money.
Yeah, double the money, but also it takes a toll on your mental health. I have done that before when I was really pressed for money, and then not taking a break for the rest of the year. It was quite bad because I was working really long hours. I was working like 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of stuff that seems like easy,
Yeah.
but it comes back to bite you in the ass. I don't know, can I say ass in this?
Yeah. I don't think we have any censorship.
So
Poop.
so yeah, it would look like, I don't know if I would be desperate for money. I think I would rather have the money, but in a wise person, as I am now. Maybe when I was in my mid-20s, I took the money because money is money, money walks bullshit.
But does it also mean that it's
I said wrong.
depends on the situation?
I think depends on the situation, and it's like I was saying before that money talks and bullshit walks. That when I was young, I thought it was very easy for me to choose the money because I had no idea on how to make boundaries about being, stressed and overworked.
Yeah.
And, always, kind of like, a pot that was boiling and overflowing all the time because that was normal. Everybody's stressed at work.
Yeah.
So nowadays, knowing what I know and going through many of those, days that I was just like so burned out that I couldn't even exist, I would just take my vacation and let it be.
Yeah. And what about another scenario that if there would be, let's say, the happiness or let's say positive things happening in your life, if they would be more concentrated, or rather that if they would be trickle down during the year. Let's say that you had in January 1st, you would win in the lottery, you would win X amount of money, but after that you wouldn't have any luck. Let's say you wouldn't have like, I found a $20 bill, or you didn't have like actually I didn't need those whatever keys, I have my spare keys in my pocket, or some kind of lucky coincidences.
I think I would rather have, them sparkle and glitter throughout the year.
Even though they would be smaller.
Yeah, maybe smaller in size, but something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Because then you kind of like something happened in your life, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, I think so too. It's one of those things about the first scenario that you mentioned, that when you are a younger person, it's easier to kind of do with the passion and kind of intensity, but then you kind of start looking for other priorities in your life. For example, the thing you said, that if you do only work, it's gonna bound to have a mental or physical toll in you. And at the same time, the other scenario, if you don't have anything after the 1st of January, it's gonna be a long year. It's gonna be long year after.
Long.
If you don't even get like some, I found like a coupon for free coffee. It's like,
Woohoo!
yeah, it's like those small things that you go to, I don't know, work, and you found like they updated your laptop or something that is not exactly something that is like winning in the lottery odds, but something that is nice that it happens. You wouldn't even get those. I think it would start eating you up.
Yeah, I think so too. It's better to have them sprinkled throughout,
Yeah.
even though if they would be smaller, you know,
Yeah.
because otherwise, what is the joy of living, you know?
It's just a gray thing going
Yeah.
on.
And you said something about lottery, so that is related to my question. And this is something that actually happens, that they ask this to people in some countries, that would you rather receive this prize in full but paying like more taxes, you know, so
Yeah.
you're gonna leave like a good slice of this money in taxes, but you get everything now, or receive the full amount of money but maybe during 30 years.
Yeah, well, my heart says to take it straight away. But my mind says to take it in parts, only because, let's say that in this scenario it's money. Usually inflation starts taking up the value of the money. So if you take 5,000 now and then nothing, but if you take it's worse, because that 5,000 is not 5,000 in 2 years. If you take, let's say, $100 per month within the 5 years, you will still get the €100 money, and maybe it doesn't pay, maybe you don't get enough stuff like you used to have, but the currency, you will still get the same amount. You technically still have the same amount. So if you would have asked me like which one, I still think that I would take the big sum, the once in a lifetime. I don't think I have the energy and kind of self-control to take like a few hundred or whatever it is.
I think that it depends also, because at our age, we are like in our early 40s, we could still manage to get this in 30 years. But for example, somebody who is already like in their 60s, somebody who is like 30 years older than us, maybe they don't feel they have that much time and the money could go to waste. So it's kind of like choosing the lesser of the two problems,
Yeah, and those things that have like this scenes that have scenarios that have some kind of time frame, I always think about the thing that, well, you can get hit by a bus. If you take the longer period option, and then you are crippled after, let's say, 10 months, then what? It's going to waste.
You never know. It's just like sometimes what is a good option for you could be the worst option for somebody else. So it depends.
Yes.
And then this other one that I have, it's something that, what do you think we would do? Imagine that everybody has their favorite shows, especially now, in the streamings, they have old shows playing like Friends and Seinfeld and Frasier and so on. But they also have a lot of new stuff coming all the time that you can barely keep up.
Yes.
So would you rather be able to only watch old shows, or like never watch anything new? You can only watch your favorite shows that you have seen a million times already, that you know the plots by heart, like for example Friends, that you can say the lines with them. Or would you rather be able to only watch new stuff once, that you can never watch anything that you have seen, always new stuff or always old stuff?
I would take the first option. I would watch the ones that I know.
Yeah, why?
Because there is this logic about comfort smell, comfort food, comfort music, and media in general. So I would see them as comforting, even though I know what's happening. Kind of, they're not like interesting subplots, I was trying to say. But at the same time, when you know something, it can be entertaining in a different way.
Yeah, and there's also, I think, the amount of new shows that are good to the amount of new shows that are bad the it's
Yeah.
very disproportionate because you have really good shows like The Last of Us, White
Stranger
Lotus, Stranger Things, you know, but
Mm.
they are like weird nowadays because, you know, it's taking so long to come
Mm.
back that you kind of forget they exist. And you have like, you know, those shows that are really high quality and everything. But then at the same time, you have like 50 seasons of, I don't know,
Some reality.
some crappy reality like
Selling the sunset.
yeah, Love is Blind. Like
Yeah.
no shade if you like it. I do
Yeah,
like my
yeah,
share of crap
course,
shows,
yeah, yeah.
but there's so much I can take.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
the whole what was the premise that you can only watch them once?
Yeah,
I guess if you could watch them more often, it would change. If you could watch them as many times, but then again, reality show, how many times is it like, you know, surprising if you know
Yeah.
what Brooke is gonna do to Rachel or whatever
yeah.
plot twist, like
It's kind of like we were even talking today that you see that there's these reality shows that there's people that they have been doing these franchises of reality
Yeah.
shows for like 10 years or something. It's like, okay, why are you still doing that? Like, get over yourself. So
yeah,
it's kind of like, oh my goodness, that's all I can watch. So it's kind
Yeah.
of annoying. There's a lot of this cheap and
Yes.
fast content being made.
yeah,
So, you know, and then there's like a couple good shows coming out per year.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I would imagine if you can only watch it one time, even if you like something very, very much, it's only the one time thing. You like, I don't know, Game of Thrones, you can only watch the whole thing once. And then you can never go back something, oh yeah, I missed this bit here or
Mhm.
something. Or what was that character saying to that character? I already forgot, but oh well.
Mhm. That's it.
Yeah, so it's interesting to think about those kind of things because we were discussing what to say in these scenarios because there would be also this funnier, like what would you rather be, what would you rather have, like a kick in the face or, you know, punch in the neck, like eh.
Oh, the one that I said, would you rather be like, you know, in the pocket or in the feet of a sweaty giant?
Yeah. Isn't it even in the, is it not Friends or maybe Seinfeld, like would you like
I think Phoebe asked that in a season.
yeah, and Seinfeld has the one that okay, what is the worst looking politician, or Gore Vidal or something like that. That this is not just like so serious. It's not like the, what is the trail
The trolley problem.
trolley problem,
Yeah.
that there isn't really a, because these kinds of things there is no answer really. Like
Yeah.
if you can choose something, then that's the answer.
Yeah, there was even the trolley problem, like in a recent skit on SNL. That,
Yeah.
that if you
Oh
have
my
been
God.
following,
Yeah.
oh my god, I killed everybody, but I still saved you.
Yeah.
That's not good enough.
I'm hoping that the trolley will somehow derail and everybody saved their life. No,
That's
you're
not how it
misunderstanding it.
works. And then we're on the next topic that would be about common knowledge. What do you consider common knowledge and that many people don't seem to know?
Well, for me, it's that the Earth is big.
I think that common knowledge that people seem to have forgotten, especially post-COVID, is like, you know, remember that you're not at home.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so tired that I go, and I'm not the only person saying this, but many people complain that they are in the movies and people are taking calls, are taking
Yeah.
pictures.
We saw the iPad once.
Somebody had an iPad in the movies. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cue the Office theme
Yeah.
song now,
Yeah.
because that was so ridiculous and people having full-on conversation. So when did, you know, being quiet in the movies and putting our electronics away, it's not common knowledge anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and sometimes I even think that even if the term knowledge, it's like you learned it from somewhere, because knowledge and wisdom and those kinds of things are different. But if you were talking about general knowledge, it's something that almost instinctively
Instinctively.
that word should come to you. That usually I think this is something that you learn from your parents or your friends or somebody, like a outside effect.
But I also like it used to be like this, so I don't know. Did something break in people's minds that we were shut in like for too long at home, and then you forgot there were things that you shouldn't be doing, like in front of other people, or saying.
Yeah, because I always feel old when I say this common decency and things like that, but respecting people's privacy and their boundaries is something that is somehow just gone through the wind, because it's like, oh, it's just a gag, like, no, you actually harmed this person's day, like, I don't know what do you call these, like people who are in social media who get clicks with the rage clicking.
The rage bait.
Everybody knows that you're not supposed to put something in the, let's say, cake or something, and then there's big headline, big thumbnail saying, oh, I put nails on my cake, it's delicious, and everybody's like, this idiot is putting nails on the cake, but it's not real. It's just because you get an angry reaction and then you interact with the post and stuff like that.
I think technology in general in recent years, especially social media, it's making people like weirder in a way, because there's lots of stuff that, like you said, it used to be common knowledge, but then people are like, kind of like bypassing them, and you're just like, why are you doing this? It's not okay. For example, there is this whole talk that when should you, for example, send messages and call people that you work with outside office hours, because it used to be common knowledge that you don't bother people unless it's an emergency. And I had work situations that people would call me on Sunday night at 10 p.m. on a holiday. It was like Easter weekend, for crying out loud. What is it so urgent that cannot wait for Monday morning?
Yeah, and then they put on the blame to you if you're not quote unquote flexible, because you're not a team player or something. If you put boundaries on things, like for example, there was even a questionnaire not too long ago that, is it okay for the employer to contact the employee after office hours? And everybody says no, it's not okay. There is I work for this paycheck from office hours or whatever is agreed. But for example, if you start calling or messaging people, they don't have the responsibility of responding. It's like those, like you said, like it's weird to see that this is kind of blurred. Maybe it's the remote work after COVID or something.
I don't know, could be something like that. But for example, this story that I said about my Easter weekend that I had somebody calling me, it was way before. It was years before. It was like 10 years ago. And then I was like, of course I was not picking up the phone. I was away on a trip in the middle of the woods, and I didn't even have like good phone signal. And then the person's like barking at me, like, and I was like, when did it become like not common knowledge that you shouldn't call your employees on Sunday night, And I think it's getting worse. I constantly see people complaining that people are blurring these limits of common knowledge just because they can.
Yeah, that is, it's socially acceptable to do something, and that's considered a common knowledge now.
Yeah.
And I when I said about the earth being big, is that even to this day, when there is internets and fast mobile devices and whatever things to communicate, social media, somehow I see people who are just like not even neglecting the fact that you have all these possibilities, but somehow even rejecting the option that somewhere something could be better.
Yeah.
And then even go further sometimes about thinking that somehow this is automatically bad. Like, I know this topic was more like common knowledge, but sometimes common knowledge should be something that, yes, this is how we do it, and this is how they do it, and I choose to do it our way. Not like nowadays that I see that we don't care what is happening in Japan or Asia or wherever. We do it like this here, and that's enough for me. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so isn't it kind of like I don't want to say shallow, but kind of
Restricting,
yeah, you're living in a very simplistic life that
limiting yourself.
limiting yourself, especially if you think that many times the people who have the means to do something, travel, or at least, try different things, they don't want to do it. Maybe it's those things that we see this national pride raising up their head, but I don't know. It for me, common knowledge. Maybe I missed the point a bit, but is something that is understanding that you're not alone in this big earth.
Yeah, and I think sometimes people on purpose, they don't want to know. You
Yeah.
know, they will just bury themselves in that, lot, and they will stick to it.
Stick
Not-
with us.
Not like in a good way, like we do,
Yeah.
but in a bad way that they are missing like the bigger scheme of things. So
Yes.
it's like, I don't know. People are weird nowadays.
It's weird, and I was thinking about it lately that are people weird, or are weird people getting more, publicity?
I think it's both. It's that because it's like always what you say, that the idiot villages would be there shouting
Village
at the
idiot.
sky, like,
Yeah.
But now, like, every village idiot has a phone, has, fast internet, 5G, so they are there with their tinfoil hats screaming, and then there's like, millions of them screaming together, so maybe
Yeah,
that's that.
they make a collective of village idiots.
And they don't have common knowledge. They have common knowledge, but they don't have common sense. Aha!
Aha. And what do we talk about in the next episode?
So, in the next episode, we're gonna talk about small things that give you joy.
Kinder
And-
eggs.
Dachshunds, sausage dogs, and communities in like that you belong and things like that.
Yes. So thank you for listening, and we hope that you listen on for the episode 3.
Yes, bye.
Bye.